won't get a push from me, but I thought that WARRALEA Lass showed enough in last season's WA Oaks when she ran 4th to suggest that she could pinch one of these lower grade midweek staying races. She's off the 7 days. She's out to 2100 for the first time in the prep, and she should get a nice midfield run. 7 for me, WARRALEA Lass. 3, Talongatta. As I've said, his last couple have been disappointing on soft 7, heavy 8s. He doesn't seem to get through the going. Would have preferred if it hadn't rained for the last couple of hours. 2, Mr. Talentino's in good solid form. He will get back with the 60 kilos, but he can sustain a run. And 1, Jive King. If you're joining us for the first time, the cutaway has been the spot to be. Pike loves 3 back the fence. He loves the cutaway as well. So expecting that Jive King will go well. 7, 3, 2 and 1.
7, WARRALEA Lass on top for Scott in a race number 5. Michael, what caught your eye from the yard?
4, Unray caught my eye. Lockie, a bit of a spec here at each way odds. I think he'll lead the race, and 3.5 weeks between runs, down in grade. I think the 3 weeks has been kind to him. He looked in pretty good shape, and he can be in front for a fair while at a nice juicy quote.
4, Andre on top for Michael from the yard. Scott, Michael is hoping that Andre finds the front. How did you see this one playing out from a speed perspective? Because for a 2100 metre event, there does look to be a fair amount of speed on paper, at least anyway.
I would have thought that Andre finds the front, that Talongatta probably finds the breeze, and Blue Card's the X factor. He pulled really hard when he was here for Cass Martin in last start, so I'd be surprised if she didn't come out quite positive to look for a nice forward spot. They're the 3, which is good because we obviously get a lot of staying races here without a lot of pace and tempo in the West, but those 3 should turn it on.
Exactly right. He's hoping for a genuinely run race where every horse gets their chance. But the market is still very, very open, apart from Beanie, who we've touched upon at length. $26 into $7.50 with the blinkers on, backing up from last week. There hasn't been a great deal of market support for any horse, really. Jive King is 9 out to 10. Mr. Talentino has been the drifter, $4.80 out to $8. Talongatta, 5 out to $5.50. Andre, 10 into $9.50. That's Michael's tip from the yard. Scott is with our favourite, WARRALEA Lass, $4.80 out to $5.50. And Waitman is a $14 chance. So there's not a great deal of market support for any of these runners, really, especially in these late moments leading up to race number 5. But Scott is with WARRALEA Lass and Michael is with Andre in what is a very, very open edition of this 50-plus 2100 metre event. He is hoping for a result at odds. Here's Darren for the call.
Starting to move up for the running of race number 5. Club's colours being worn by the rider of Blue Card, Cass Martin. Mr. Talentino going up, and so does Blue Card. Now here comes Getter, Talongatta, Andre, Waitman, WARRALEA Lass, Ripper Sideways. The last of them to come forward. So have we got a defined favourite? No, not quite with the WOP. Talongatta and WARRALEA Lass both at $5.50 in the market. $7.50 Mr. Talentino, and probably the best backed horse in the race, Beanie, from $12 in. Up goes WARRALEA Lass. And now Ripper Sideways heads towards one of the outer gates, and we wait for Talongatta. They're almost set. The 5th on the card. Early part of the day marked by some really big upsets. As Talongatta now walks along up into the stalls, the red light has been switched on. And the field stands set and ready to move. In fact, he hits the button to let them go. They're off and they're racing. Andre amongst the first of them into stride with Talongatta, and Ripper Sideways is roaring up here wider out looking for the front. And at the judge, Ripper Sideways, heeled forward, goes to the lead now from Talongatta and Andre. Trapped wide around those is Beanie, 4 deep going up to the first corner. Jive King snuck up on the inside of El Giro Del Mondo, WARRALEA Lass 3 deep. Then Where's My Lunch, the grey. Further back, Sketter, and also Mr. Talentino. Then about 4 lengths to Blue Card, and last of all is Waitman. As they head over into the back straight, Rip It Sideways came out with the skates on and had them running into the back of the course from Talengata. Then Beanie, who's going to have to work in transit, 3 deep, no cover. Ray 4th, Jive King 5th, the inside of WARRALEA, a length away, El Giro Del Mondo. Where's My Lunch, the grey, tucked up near the rail as Sketter goes forward 3 deep again onto the back of WARRALEA. Further back is Mr. Talentino, Waitman, and Blue Card pulling down on the inside is next to last. 1,000 metres to go, and Rip It Sideways in the gloom. Heads up now to the top of the track, leading by a length on Talengata with Beanie 3rd, Ray 4th, WARRALEA is 5th over on the outside in the light blue. Jive King Harina, then El Giro Del Mondo, back about midfield in front of Sketter. Where's My Lunch, Mr. Talentino. Off the bridle, ridden desperately is Waitman, and dropping out last is Blue Card. They come down the side of the track, 650 to go, and Rip It Sideways gets the company of Talengata going up and giving it a good stare. Beanie 3 deep, and that's about the best he's been in running. Right behind them is Ray, WARRALEA. Around them, Mr. Talentino letting go with a run as well, with Sketter having to steady off the heels of WARRALEA. Back behind those then Jive King, but at the top of the straight, Beanie had hit the front. It's Beanie going to the lead. Down the outside, Mr. Talentino, WARRALEA, and getting a run is Ray. They come past the 200. Mr. Talentino here on the grandstand side from WARRALEA. Beanie, Ray battling away behind them with El Giro Del Mondo. WARRALEA, Mr. Talentino. WARRALEA gets ahead in front. WARRALEA won it. WARRALEA from or good go there for second and third. Ray getting through with El Giro Del Mondo. Mr. Talentino put the cue back in the rack in the last little bit, but Beanie battled on. And then Where's My Lunch followed further back, Blue Card from the tail, Sketter. Next home, Talengata, Waitman, Rip It Sideways, and Jive King pulling up a long last. Number 7, the winner, WARRALEA. Sean McGruddy getting home here in the 5th. WARRALEA by Playing God, the second of that stock to win here this afternoon in testing conditions. Number 7 will get the verdict for the Steve Wolf stable. Close for second and third numbers. El Giro Del Mondo showing last win at Pinjarra was no fluke. And Ray might just get that a nose, El Giro Del Mondo, and a close-up was Mr. Talentino, who came to the end of its run in the last little bit. The interim placing, 7, 4, Ray does get second, ahead of 6, El Giro Del Mondo, and 2, Mr. Talentino. 7, 4, 6 and 2 interim, 2:17, 5, 6 posted here for the 2,100. They've run home in 38.92. And 3/4 and ahead are those margins to the 5th on the card. WARRALEA by Playing God out of Lacey Lockett, owned by the WARRALEA Filly Syndicate, trained by Steve Wolf, and Shooter McGruddy in the saddle. Getting the money here from Ray by Blackfriars, El Giro Del Mondo by Oratorio. Race 6, the Mrs. Max Handicap over 1,400, and no changes to come there, and they'll go at 4.50. We'll be turning on the lights the way things are going here as we take you down to Lockie in the yard, and Shooter and his old mate, the Wolfman, get the job done.
Exactly right, Darren, and it's my pleasure to be catching up with Steve Wolf. He's here on course here this afternoon. Wolfie, congratulations on the win. This mare, 4th up into the campaign. There's clearly a sense of timing with the preparation, because getting out to a trip, she's nice and strong late.
Yeah, she's always showing a bit. I actually thought she'd win last week. I said to the connections, look, we'll throw in this 2,100 metre race and see what happens. She did run 4th in the WA Oaks, so she was probably entitled to do what she did today. She's probably been a bit disappointing, but she's got enough ability, and when they can stay is a big advantage, isn't it?
Certainly is, as you've touched upon here in WA. Sometimes our staying ranks aren't overly strong. Does that look like her go moving forward? Just the ability to take her through her grades and hopefully continue to pick up some west speed?
Yeah, you would hope so, you know, from here on in for the blokes, a good mob of blokes that have got her, and just hope they can have a bit of luck with her. Yeah, we've had a bit of a quiet run. But no, thanks to all the staff that have been keeping the show going and everyone else that supported us. It's just good, and the old jockey, he sticks by me thick and thin, so it's good to get a winner with him.
How have you been travelling? How have the last few weeks been?
Yeah, I'm on the improve. Got to watch what I'm doing. I've slowed down marginally, but I get more criticism from the wife than anyone, but no, I'm sure that I'll come good and be around for a while.
Can't keep a good man down. Well done here.
Thank you.
There's Steve Wolf. Great to see him back at the races, and here's his right-hand man, Sean McGrady, catching up with Scotty.
Sporting a free facial, as you put it there, Sean. It's certainly getting wet out there.
Yeah, and it's getting heavy, more so because the track's so tight. It does a good job. Probably only track in Australia. You race there every Wednesday, every Saturday, so only takes a little bit of rain on the race day, and it chops out pretty quick.
Obviously, last week she was in a very fast run mile, and you had to sort of get away from the inside because those horses in front of you are going to take you nowhere.
Yeah, look, I think I drew barrier 1 from memory and tried to use my spot, but you're right, we're going way too quick, even though I was sort of 4th or 5th in running, and it just left her a bit flat-footed, although she got held up a little bit at the top of the straight anyway, so I thought it was a good effort today. Wolfie's horses, as a rule, don't normally butter up that good, but I suppose up in distance the field got a bit weaker, and we were sort of kept on the outside 3 deep. Luckily we had cover, and as it turned out, when the track's like this and you're buttering up, it's probably the place to be on the outside so you can work into it and wind up.
Good to have Wolfie back in the mounting yard too with a winner. Put a smile on his face.
Yeah, sure he is. He's a survivor, and he's going a lot better.
Congratulations, mate. Well done.
Thank you.
There's Sean McGrady combining with his old mate Steve Wolf and WARRALEA Lass, taking out race number 5 here at Belmont Park.